Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the top 5 finalists for the BrickLink Designer Program Series 5. So without further ado, let's get into this video right away. And like always, before we do go on to this video, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and most importantly, leave a comment down below. Let me know out of the top 5 finalist sets, which one is your favorite and which one you plan on actually going ahead and purchasing once we get to the crowdfunding stage. So for those of you who are new to the channel and have not actually heard about BrickLink Designer Program Series, I've done some previous videos on this before, which I will leave a card up on top that you can go check out. But to summarize, basically the BrickLink Designer Program is very similar to Lego Ideas. Basically anybody around the world is allowed to submit any sort of Lego idea creation. There's obviously some rules and regulations and terms and conditions that you have to read beforehand, like you can't have certain themes or certain types of sets, for example. And then basically once those are submitted, they get evaluated based off of the BrickLink Designer Program Series team, and the top 5 finalists are selected for that program. Now every year there's around 3 programs, so they're held every 4 months, and within that 4 months you have basically a 2-week period to submit your idea. They heavily promote that you have your submission prepared in advance so that when you do have a chance to submit it, it's ready to go. And sometimes what will end up happening is when you do submit your idea, they'll actually ask you to make some modifications before that 2-week period closes. So during that 2 weeks, anybody is allowed to actually submit their design, and then from there it goes into a crowd supporting stage, almost, where anybody's allowed to just kind of vote on whether or not they like your idea or not like your idea. Once that period closes, then with that information, the BrickLink team takes that information plus their own evaluation of every single set and narrow it down to the top 5 finalists. Now with these top 5 finalists, what they end up deciding is they will always select finalists with a wide variety of range. So it will be anywhere between, let's say, 0 to 800 pieces, 800 to like 1500 pieces, 1500 to 2500, 2500 to a maximum of 4,000 pieces. They always select sets that have a variety of price range, and a good example actually is if we go and take a look at, for example, the Series 1 set, you'll notice, or maybe not Series 1 because you can't see the prices, in the Series 2 set, you'll notice that we have sets that range from anywhere between $120 to $270 all the way up to $350. And then if, for example, you look at maybe, for example, the Series 3 set, these will probably end up being cheaper. I think in the Series 1 set, this one was only like $70, and then it was like $70 and $110, and it was like $350. So they do a variety of price range that goes through that. Now basically what ends up happening is we're going to go talk about the Series 5 set, but if you are selected as the top 5 finalists, the main thing you have to do at that point is you'll have to modify your design, which is currently what's happening in season 3. There's like a current modification where they're refining those final designs, and then we move into the crowdfunding. So the actual modification of those designs is basically they work with the BrickLink Designer Program team. They'll make some changes to their set to make sure it makes sense. Maybe there's some things they need to tweak. Then we get to crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is extremely important because it basically tells the BrickLink Designer Program team if they select the right set. The last thing that they want to have happen is that one of their sets does not get funded. What does that mean? There's a minimum requirement. I think they have to sell at least 1,000 pre-orders to meet the minimum requirement, and then there's a maximum, I think it's like 20 or 30,000 sets that they can have. So all the ones that sold out, for example, that means they sold out all 30,000 sets for that specific set, which is absolutely insane. It does not mean that these are bad sets. It just means that maybe they weren't as popular, but at the end of the day, as long as they're meeting the minimum quota of 1,000 sets, I think everybody makes money is how I understand it. And then obviously if you sell out, you would make more money to a certain extent. I don't know how the compensations work. I've never won this before. I have submitted before. I actually submitted in Designer in Series 2, but unfortunately I did not get it. But I did make some tweaks, and you actually go check that out on the Lego Ideas website. So I will leave another card, and you can go ahead and vote for that one right now. It is called The Cone. It's an ice cream parlor shop. I really appreciate your guys' support if you want to go check that one out as well. That's basically it. And then once you've had that pre-order phase done, then they'll actually go ahead and start preparing your order. And like it says there, usually you'll have about 6 months by the time you pre-order to when you receive your set. They get shipped in these really fancy boxes. What's really cool about this as well is 2 things. Number 1, when you actually order the set, it directs you to the Lego website, so it feels like you're buying off the Lego website. And number 2, these are custom boxes, which is absolutely awesome in that sense. What I also think is really cool too, it looks like, is that even if you didn't get a chance to buy the set, it looks like you can still get the building instructions and then just go buy the pieces yourself and then build it yourself one day, which is also another option too. That's enough about what the BrickLink Designer Program is. Let's go ahead and talk about Series 5 itself. Now in Series 5, it looks like we have basically had 5 sets. Now I will have a quick disclaimer. This is the 3rd time I'm recording this video. The first time my microphone didn't work, and so I got no audio, and the second time I forgot the screen share, which means the entire video did not work for whatever reason, and so this is the third time. Can't lie by saying I've already technically gone through all of these, and it's just unfortunate that this is the third time. My microphone's working. I am screen sharing. I think we're good. I really hope I don't have to film this again, otherwise I'll be really sad because I've already been doing this for like over an hour because of these changes. Let's start with Thieves of Tortuga. Like I mentioned in my previous videos, that didn't have audio or video in this case, but now we've got both. I like this one a lot because it reminds me of Pirates of the Caribbean, specifically Dead Man Tells No Tales. What I like about this one is it reminds me of the British colonies, kind of what they would have in the Caribbean, or maybe if you watch, for example, Artful Dodger on Disney Plus. I think it's tailored more in Australia, but basically you have like kind of late 1700s, early 1800s British colony themed sets, or Spanish colony themed sets in that sense too. What I like about these a lot specifically is you kind of have like the brick layered houses, you have that kind of clay tile roofs, and most importantly you have the vegetation that's kind of built in the area. What I really like about this one is that you have a story. My thing with pirate sets is that you need to tell a story. A lot of them have to do with a castle, a ship. You know, in this case here, you've got like kind of like an island area. It is very simple, but at the end of the day, I think that there's a lack of pirate themed sets within Lego. I think, in my opinion, they've overdone castle a little bit too much, and I think they really need to bring in that pirate stuff. This is definitely something that I would always like. I would love to actually try and build one day, is have a kind of like a pirate themed area. This is definitely one of those sets that you'd want to include on. I love the stories within it as well. It's very simple, which is what you would kind of see back in that day. Everything is more brick, run down, trees are running through. It's all kind of, I don't want to say gross in a bad way, but like gross and mucky. Like, you know, look at the first photo, the guy's dumping sewage on a guy, for example. Like, that's an incredible detail, which is hilarious, but that's what you would see in this kind of piratey themed land. And I think Krackenator has done an amazing job. I think he's actually also been in this series before, so him, I think two of the other finalists for this set have already been selected as finalists from previous sets. But you know what, at the end of the day, these guys are bringing out quality content and they deserve it. And that's another thing too, before I move on to the second one, I did see some comments about people saying they were always selecting the same people. If you actually go through, like BrickEster's had 2 of them. There's a lot of people who have already been selected twice already. So I actually don't think that's a bad idea. Like Jonas Kram already that first mushroom set back in series 2, he's got it again for, I like to call it the sequel, which we'll talk about in a sense. I will say one thing though, at the end of the day, these are businesses. BrickLink needs to make money. They're not just going to go out and print free Lego. I personally believe that if you have the best set, if Jonas Kram makes a set every third series that wins, and he does it for the next 15 years and it makes BrickLink money, I don't see why there's any reason why Jonas should not be put into those positions. I understand that people think it's not fair and you should give your chance to everybody, but at the end of the day, these are businesses. We want quality content. As people who are looking to buy Lego sets, who are fans of Lego, you want to buy something that is of high quality regardless of who made it. For me, if I'm interested in that mushroom set, I want to buy that mushroom set. I don't want to have to not get that mushroom set because I have to accept something else that maybe isn't as high of quality. So that's my personal opinion on it. You can disagree with me. At the end of the day, it's all about quality. I do believe that if you're submitting multiple sets, for example, maybe spread those series out. Maybe don't Krackenator, for example, don't submit 5 different sets in your series 5. Maybe spread them out so you allow people to, number one, allow yourself to actually have support throughout multiple series, and also don't hog up all 5 spots, because that kind of defeats the whole purpose of having Lego ideas, or Lego BrickLink Designer programs. But in my opinion, having repeated finalists, I think is great. It shows that they're passionate, it shows that they understand what it means to get to the top, and most importantly, it means that they're going to give you quality content. And I think that's the most important thing. We want quality sets. We don't want sets that are boring. We want sets that are fun, creative, and that's what I want to see, and that's what I'm proud about and I'm happy about with these sets. Now, that's enough rambling. Let's jump into number 2, which is the Mushroom Village. Mushroom Village, definitely a really cool set. It's obviously the sequel of Series 2. Just to give you guys an idea, if you go back to Series 2, you've got like the Mushroom House. He's basically, it's the same guy, Jonas Kram. He's taking the Mushroom House and he's like, it needs a sequel. Something I said in one of my other videos, well, my previous video that didn't have audio, was that if you're gonna go for 2, you gotta go for 3 at this point. I want to see like a 4,000 piece Mushroom Kingdom at this point. Jonas, if you're watching this, make it the full thing. Make the trilogy. I expect in Series 8 or 10, at the rate you're going at, probably 8 at the rate you're going at, I expect a Mushroom Kingdom, 4,000 pieces. End it off. Literally write a note to the BDP team, be like, this is the last one. We're going 3 for 3. I think that would be absolutely hilarious, and I really hope that you end up doing it. What I like about this set specifically is it reminds me of a blend between a Smurfs village as well as like a Hobbit's village. I love the details. I love the originality. The one piece that really stands out to me the most is the use of colors that are not normally used. We use a lot of grays, dark bluish grays, tans, dark tans. we never really use this kind of, I think it's like a paste blue or a chalk blue or like a chalky green, a pastel colors as much, in my opinion. So I really like those details. I like the fact that we've created a new world. The Mushroom Village right now, in my opinion, the only thing I think about is BrickLink Designer Program. It's this Jonas guy who's come out with this brand new theme. He's done a great job and I'm a big fan of it. It's not personally for me to buy, but I think the theme is amazing. Really well done. Big ups to you on this one. Please end it off with a bang. You've done the Mushroom House, you've done the Mushroom Village. Honestly, at this point, do the Mushroom Kingdom. I've given you the idea. Just go ahead and do it. Build something that's incredible so that when someone buys all three of them, they can slap them together and make an incredible city in this case. Jonas, I hope you watch this. Please make a Mushroom Kingdom is all I'm saying. Moving on to number 3 is the Antique Shop. Now, before I talk about this one, if you have been following the BrickLink Designer Program Series news, the one thing that released specifically for Series 6, they might have actually released it for Series 5, but I definitely 100% for Series 6, is they no longer will accept modular buildings. I have mixed feelings about it. I like modular buildings a lot. I almost think that they should just have a separate category for modular buildings. I don't know why. I think the reason why they don't is because it clashes with Lego's current modular building sets. It's unfortunate because there's a lot of really good sets, but what I think ThatOneGuySteve has done is that he's kind of simplified that modular building set in a good way. What he's done is he's taken the Creator 3-in-1 house and the modular building aspect and he's blended them together, because an antique shop is something you would think about as a modular building, but he's built it as part of a house. And I think this is what makes this set really nice, and in my opinion, a set that I would buy. I'm a big buildings person and I really like this idea. Where I live currently in Canada, what you see a lot of is when you go into the downtown areas, back then in the 60s and 70s, you'd have people who like literally have a house like within 5 minutes of downtown. But as cities expand, they would expand close to those houses. So what these houses would end up turning into, instead of having them being demolished, they turn into like local restaurants, local shops. And this is exactly what this is. It's a local mom and pop shop. It's an antique shop. And I think for me, that is awesome, and I really like that a lot, because this is something that works perfectly in any city. You can put this right next to a skyscraper, you can put this right next to like any sort of like modern building nowadays, and it would feel normal, because in our eyes, when you're walking down the street, it's a piece of land that was never redeveloped. And that's what I like about this one. It's a different take on a modular building. It's the same theme as modular building, because you got a roof that takes off. It's only one floor. Instead, it's more based off of that mom and pop shop style feel, which I'm a big fan of. And also, it's technically my theme to my cone ice cream shops. Definitely go check that out. If you like the mom and pop shop theme, like the antique, yes, I'm plugging my own Lego ideas submission at this point. Check out the cone as well. And last but not least, actually, what I really like as well is obviously you get all the different antiques. You got like a cool painting, you get the cool grandfather clock. These are really cool antiques that you would find in a shop like this. And last but not least, also you get like the actual really cool olden day, I guess, pickup truck. I definitely think that's really cool. This is definitely one I would definitely want to pick up. So really well done job for the antique shop. Moving on to set number 4. This is the Adventures to Transylvania, and I'll say the two things that stick out to me the most. That is perfect. The color red and that color blue works perfectly with this. You got that neo-gothic era theme. This is exactly something I would expect out of Hotel Transylvania movie, mixed with every Dracula movie you've seen to date. Anything with Van Helsing, anything that is the vampire theme, this is exactly what I want to see. This is an adventure I would go to in Transylvania. My thing that stands out to me the most is two things. Number one is the color combination between the red and the blue. Awesome, absolutely amazing job. I love like the little different colors on the roof. I love the fact that you use a black as the not the accents, you have the red, you have the black structure and then the red accents. I think you've really hit the gothic style theme for this, which is perfect for a castle like this. But most importantly, I love the fact that you can have this set as opened completely, so it covers more surface area, so it's like an open back, or maybe a closed modular building. It reminds me of Hocus Pocus's house, where in the Hocus Pocus house, I think you can open up the back to play on the inside. Same kind of idea. One thing I, for example, was not a big fan of when you look at the Parisian hotel that was done in BrickLink Designer Program Series 1, I felt like that hotel should have been able to be closed. And the fact that you couldn't was, I think, a little bit unfortunate. And I didn't like that as much, because for me, I don't like open backs. I like closed buildings. So if I were to be interested in this set, I would want it because it also has a closed building and it has all those details on the inside. So Sleepless Night, really good job. I mean, you got a really cool theme going on here. Congrats on getting to number 5. And then last but not least, we're gonna look at the Popcorn Wagon by Mictur. It looks like this is his first submission entry and actually being able to be a top 5 finalist. So congratulations on that aspect of things. Again, like I was saying before, this is a smaller set, most likely gonna be at most $70 Canadian. Again, all these prices are in Canadian. I think it's probably only gonna be like 500 pieces at most, which is great. From a BrickLink perspective, you're trying to make money, you wanna have a price range for everybody. This one will definitely sell out because it is the cheapest this one. Guarantee you, it's also very original. It's something I would see if I was walking downtown London, for example. It just reminds me of that. Like maybe we're even like in New York City, you just see some guy with a random popcorn stand. It's simple. It works. I like it. It's got 2 minifigures. I like the little tile piece it's on, so it's not just necessarily like a wagon. You actually have like a little scenery. I like the addition of the light post. I don't fully know what this does. I don't know if this maybe like turns it like as if it turns the popcorn. If it does, it's a really cool function. So yeah, I don't know if it actually turns the popcorn. I was a little bit confused when I was looking at these photos earlier. It kind of looks like it does, and if it does, that's actually a really good addition. Overall, I think it's really well done. Big ups to Mictur. I mean, really cool set. I love the red color that goes with it. I think you chose some brilliant colors that go with it. So well done to you as well. Now, when we take a look at the top 5 sets, we're going to rank them from number 5 all the way up to my favorite set that I've seen here today. And it's hard because all of these are very different. It's very hard to pick one that I love the most. How I'm going to pick it is based off of if I had to only buy one set, which one am I going to buy and for which reasons? If you've been following this channel for a while now, you know that I'm in the process very slowly. I haven't made much progress, but I'm trying to build my own Lego city of my own. And what would I want to include in those Lego cities? It just depends on areas that I am currently developing. With that all being said though, starting at number 5 is going to be the Mushroom Village. I just don't have any reason to have that. It's a very cool theme, but it's just not something I am totally interested in. That's straight up is my honest opinion when it comes to that. Other than that, it's a really good set. It's definitely going to sell it because the first one sold out. I can see that one selling out as well. And if it does sell out, Jonas Kram, please make the Mushroom Kingdom. It would be absolutely insane. It's coming in at number 4 for me is going to actually be, it's going to be a little bit of a shock, but it's actually going to be the Thieves of Tortuga. I like the idea of creating a pirate theme, but I would almost build that myself. I don't know if I would want to buy that as a pre-made diorama. It doesn't interest me in that sense of things. I feel like if I had already a whole out pirate theme set already and I want added another like village area, I would add that in. But just for me, if I was going to build out a pirate theme area, I'd probably want to build that myself. That's my only opinion on it. Coming in at number 3 for me is going to be Adventures in Transylvania. My thing with this one specifically is just that it's a Halloween theme kind of style set. Like you would add it with Hocus Pocus, make it kind of like a spooky area, wizards, kingdoms, whatever you want to call it. It's cool, but again, it's not for me. Why I took that one over Thieves of Tortuga, just honestly because I like the gothic theme of it. I think that it was really well done. It gives it that scary feel to it. So I just feel like the Thieves of Tortuga one's simpler, which is like not a bad thing, but it's got less detail because it's that British era where everything's just brick walls and stuff. Whereas I think this one did a really good job. And then coming in at number 2 is gonna have to be the Popcorn Wagon. I think it's really nice. It's simple. It could easily be added into an area, but again, if I'm choosing my money on something, it's not gonna be that Popcorn Wagon. It's interesting. It's nice to throw into the city randomly. It's got to be that antique shop. The antique shop for me is something that I'm really interested in. I think that would pair perfectly in a neighborhood. You kind of have like your little street shops that are next to, you know, when you have a residential area of a lot of houses, and then next to that you'd have like a 7-Eleven or you have a gas station. In that gas station, you might have that antique shop that's like kind of next to it. That is what I want. That is something that I want to see. Or maybe I throw that into the downtown area where you have like all these new buildings next to a new mid-rise buildings, new sky-rise buildings, and you have like that mom and pop antique shops that are next to each other, that little thrift stores. You know, you kind of, I'm thinking like you have like that up style house where it's like in the middle of like 2 massive skyscrapers. So yeah, so that's basically it. Honestly, if I'm gonna choose one set to buy, it's gonna have to be that antique shop. Congratulations, that one guy Steve, you have won my vote. So yeah, that's the BrickLink Designer Program Series 5 set. I hope you did go on to enjoy this video. Let me know down below in the comments actually after watching this video which one of these sets is actually your favorite. Mine's still gonna be the antique shop. The minute I saw it, I was like, that's a really cool set. I'm a big sucker for buildings, and it's definitely something that I aspire to create, something as unique as that, to hopefully become a BrickLink Finalist Designer Program Series 5 finalist. But who knows, that's going to be for the future, hopefully one day. So yeah, if you did go on to enjoy this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment down below. And yeah, if you want to check out some of my other 2 videos, like always, just hit that subscribe that pops up in the middle here, click on one of these 2 videos on the side, and most importantly, I will see you guys next week for a brand new video. See ya.